And hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 2 of Nascar Talk. We are fresh off the running of the two Budweiser Duels last night. The recording taking place here on Friday. Of course, will be aired on Saturday, and we're on the verge of the Daytona 500. I'm Seth Cole, being joined by Dylan Young, Kyle Matthews, Angel Navarro, Benjamin Miles, and Michael Norman in a special Daytona 500 version of Nascar Talk. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Hey, no problem.
No
Good
problem,
to
my
be
friend.
here.
No problem, dude.
Hello.
Thank God I had a
I'm not
break
sick.
from school this week.
I'm not sick this time.
Yay!
All
I
right.
am this time.
Alright, so we're just fresh off the running of the two duels last night, and Dylan, I'll start with you. General opinion, reaction to what took place last night. Was it what you expected? Was it not what you expected? What did you think?
Dale Jr. won. Woo!
I
Hendrick
guess that's all I
Motorsports
want to
won.
say.
That's total bullshit.
That kind of didn't surprise me to see Hendrick winning it. It really didn't surprise me. But what actually surprised me the most was seeing some drivers that were from the back that unexpectedly made the 500. Blew my mind away. So that was pretty interesting for the duels. I'm looking forward to the 500. If I'm not going to be working, I wish. But oh well.
Kyle, your thoughts?
Well, it came down to Hendrick versus Gibbs in both races, and that really didn't surprise me any. But I really thought there'd be some surprises on who wouldn't make the race, and that really didn't happen.
Angel?
Well, my thoughts is that Hendrick Motorsports winning is total bullshit.
Okay.
Okay.
Well then.
Anti-Hendrick Motorsports guy.
Ben?
In before Jeremaki.
Well, for the both duels, I'm not surprised that, of course, Hendrick got the dominant cars from one shop, the 48 and the 88 shop, pretty much kind of knew everybody knows going to win the race. The duels, first duel, so no surprise there. Gibbs' cars is very strong. Still Haas cars, mid-pack until the end of both duels. Now, the surprise, of course, a lot of surprises in both duels, of course. Mike Wallace made in the underfunded six-car team. Of course, Cole Winn in 35, who uses David Reagan's points. He made it in the duel, made it to the 500 as well. And, of course, what happened at the end of the race in duel 2 between Danica Patrick and Denny Hamlin? Now, after that wreck with Denny Hamlin and Danica Patrick, I thought Danica was done. But with the grace of Kurt Busch, drive to the back, help Danica up to finish inside the top 10, that saved NASCAR a lot. It actually did.
Whoa.
It actually did. So Danica had to thank Kurt Busch. But anybody who saw that fight saw what happened between Denny and Danica. Look it up. I'm not going to talk about it.
Michael, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I think that penalty for Kurt Busch was bull because he did not go below the yellow line. He was on it. He didn't go below it.
I agree.
And,
Yep.
That's doable.
And the first duel I think was a little more exciting because the whole with all the wrecks and stuff. But Dale Jr. did exactly what he said he was going to do, and that was start in the rear and get to the front. That's my opinion on the first one. The second one had two of the worst drivers, I personally think. Well, not worst drivers, but my most hated drivers in both Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson. And at the time they were running in their first two, I'm sitting there saying, like, my first two drivers driving in the top two. While I didn't like to see Jimmy Johnson win, at least it wasn't a points race. But all in all, I think the dual races were pretty exciting, except for, maybe a little more exciting than the ones I went to last year. Except for Clint Boyer flipping over.
Well, when I was looking at the duels last night, I was trying to picture what might be happening in the 500 a couple days later. And the thing that really jumped out at me, and I'm hoping that this is just the fact that there's more grip on the track with the night races. Of course, they've only run the unlimited and, of course, the dual races, both under the lights with the cooler temperatures. But I'm hoping, but if it's any indication of last night what's going to happen Sunday, you're going to have a great battle in the race from 6th on back.
By the way, I don't mean to cut you off here. I just want to say this. I've looked at it, and so far for today, tomorrow, and Sunday, it should be all clear for weather.
Yeah, they're saying it's supposed to be
Great
pretty
news.
warm on Sunday.
Finally.
No rain delay.
So, nope.
Thank God.
But I mean, if you looked at the definitely the dual races last night, you had basically a battle up front between Matt Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the first dual race, and then a battle between Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson for the second dual race. And it really seemed that when Kenseth was out in front, he was able to block, he was able to stay out in front. Nobody was really able to challenge him until Junior made his way up. Then Junior was able to block and keep the top spot. And then really, in all honesty, nobody was able to get up there and challenge Jimmy Johnson. I mean, Kyle Busch, yeah, he was there, but there was very little communication that went on between the Gibbs drivers. They were 3 wide at 2 separate points with each other. I mean, there really was very little team communication to be able to work against Johnson. If the duels are any indication for the 500, you're going to see a bit of a bore fest up front with one driver basically being able to hold off both lines, and maybe not even much battling from first on back through fifth. It's a scramble from sixth on back, I think, which will be the best racing. So hopefully, I'm hoping that if there is, with warmer conditions being daytime, that there may not be as much grip for the leader to be able to maneuver the way they have been in the Unlimited and the duels to be able to block. There may be the 2-line racing, and you'll actually get to see some drivers swap the lead. But, I'm a little worried that with what we saw in the 2 dual races last night, that you're going to see very little changes for the lead at the front.
Well, I'm going to take a quote from I saw on Facebook. I don't know who it was that posted it. They said that the winner with 10 laps to go, or the leader with 10 laps to go, will probably win the race. But in another personal opinion, as long as it's Dale Jr., I'm fine. But you're right. We'll probably see a lot of single, one car in the front blocking 2 lanes. But with the way those guys were able to maneuver their cars, it will make it just more exciting for the battles for the lead.
But here's the thing, though. Were they able to maneuver their cars because of the cooler track conditions, or just because they were that good?
Track conditions.
I think conditions as well.
Yeah.
I think
It's
the
too
reason
cool.
I think the reason we saw that kind of racing in the dual race was because it is the duels. They may have been holding back just a little bit. They didn't want to destroy their Daytona 500 car. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive in the 500 just because it's the points race.
I think so
May I
too.
bring up one fact? Danica Patrick is actually going to a 3rd backup car. I think.
Which is something. Yeah, she is actually.
Here she is. No surprise there.
No, not really.
I
She
wouldn't be
destroyed
surprised if
all
she
3
actually
of her
wrecks out.
primary cars. Wow.
And that car that she just ended up wrecking was actually a former Kurt Busch car, so
Yeah, they actually. Rest in peace, Logic.
I think they said last night that car she drove in the dual race was the same car that Kurt Busch ended up finishing the top 5 with in the 500 last year.
I think it was in.
No, actually,
I think it
wasn't.
was
July
Oh,
race.
July race, you're right.
No,
Yep.
it wasn't in July race either. It was in in another super speedway race, Talladega.
Yeah,
Or was it the Dega car?
but
Yeah,
still,
I think it was a
nonetheless-
Dega.
So, rest in
Nonetheless,
peace,
though,
former Kurt Busch car too.
Yeah.
it's just the logic
has-
is too damn high.
She has Kurt Busch as crew chief from last year, so.
Right.
What else does she take from Kurt Busch?
So now here's a question.
His virginity.
With what we saw with the restarts and the starts of the races last night, it really seemed like the outside line was the line that moved the most on the start of the race. Now, Jeff Gordon, he's on the pole. He would have Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind him if he starts on the inside line. He'd have a non-teammate in Kyle Busch on the outside line. So if you're Gordon, what do you choose on the start of the 500?
Inside line ASAP.
Inside with the teammates behind you. I'd always like to have a teammate behind me when I restart. Try to play race.
Inside.
I honestly gotta
Inside,
say, go
always-
for
it's always
inside
better.
line. Just that's how it is. Unless you get a good drafting partner, just find whatever line possible that works,
Just
and
like
LeBron
pass-
just joined.
No, just like the past 2 years, it's going to be the outside line that he's going to start on.
But remember, Kyle Busch gonna make it 3-1 in the first lap. You know how Kyle Busch is. He's rowdy.
Right.
That's why his name is Rowdy. Wow. Jokes. Jokes have been made, people. Laugh at them.
So let's talk about the underdogs that made the race. Who was the biggest surprise for you guys?
JJ Yowie.
Yeah, Yaley, to be honest.
I'm not surprised, to
Yo,
be
we-
honest with you. I'm not surprised.
Wait, I forgot it. Is Casey Mears
What
in?
I'm sad is
Casey
that
Mears in.
Despite
Jeff
his
Gordon
engine blowing
didn't
up,
make
I
it.
Yep.
forgot.
Owner points.
I know. I was watching that last night, and I saw Casey Race's engine blow up. I'm like, oh, Seth must be pissed.
You know who's
I
I'm
wasn't too
sad?
happy.
But
You know who I'm sad for?
Well, okay. Go. What you sad for?
I was sad that Jeb Burton and Alex Bowman crashed out because of some stupidity. I was sad.
Jeb Jeb Burton's part or
Yeah, Jeb Burton. Jeb,
Okay.
the driver of the 26 Live Deals, Nasdaq.com, Toyota Camry for BK Racing.
AKA War
I think-
Burton's son.
Jeb Burton's crash, that was just a racing deal. They were 3 wide. He got loose
Yeah.
in the middle. Not really
couldn't blame him on
stupidity.
that one.
Exactly. It's just one of
my
them
surprise
racing
pick-
deals.
Oh my, go ahead.
No, I finished.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
I think
surprise
honestly
pick-
though, Jeb was a surprise to see that made it in, but I honestly thought that Cole.
Yeah, Cole Witt was my surprise.
JJ Yowie, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a surprise to see the team, but not the driver, Mike Wallace. That was a very underfunded team, but they got the right
I
driver to
agree.
get into the field.
Yeah, I agree. But everybody keep forgetting, Mike Wallace
Oh,
did
that's
have
my
2
God.
wins at Daytona. One in Xfinity car and one in Captain World Truck Series. So
That's what I
at
said.
Daytona.
It wasn't a surprise that Mike Wallace was in there, but just the team that he was driving for. I think.
Yeah,
that's
that
the-
I'll
I
put
think-
apart with them.
I think it was funny how and during the coverage that like they were riding on board with cars just as wrecks happened.
Oh
You know, like,
yeah,
They were riding on board
Yeah.
with they were riding on
David
board
Reagan.
with the third,
that
with
clip.
David
I was
Reagan
like,
when
oh,
he
go
got
to the
spun,
wall.
and they were riding on board with him again whenever Danica wrecked.
Well, that's right.
Tell you who I was actually the most impressed with, quite honestly, was Mike Wallace. I mean, we know he's a good drafter. We've seen him racing trucks and everything, but in my opinion, in a 66 car, which is an underfunded team, I think that really settled out for him. I was expecting to kind of see him in the same boat as Ron Hornaday, running way back behind the pack, but he was right up there, the whole race.
Wait, question. Did Reed Sorensen make the race?
Yes,
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He's starting
That was another
12th.
That's my surprise. Reed Sorensen made the goddamn race. What the hell?
Actually,
The fact
I would actually replace this. I would replace Cole Witt with Reed Sorensen, especially what happened to him before the duels.
Yeah, they
That's
weren't
the
even
qualifying.
sure if they'd have a backup car ready in
Exactly.
time.
They had
go.
to put a backup
They
car
made
together
one that
real
whole-
quick.
That
They
backup
just
car
put
came
one
from
back at
Charlotte.
home.
So that I would give that team, the Extreme team, a whole lot of credit, a whole lot of heart, because they make sure they want to be inside the 500, and they made it. I gave them props for the whole team.
They've been
That's
given
a surprise this weekend.
they've been given a lot of hype about Ty Dillon too. With him making it and everything. How much impact do you think he's going to make in the 500?
Not much. He's probably just gonna stay in the back or something.
That's a Childress car, or at least
Yeah,
they have. At least they're getting.
No, it's not.
Oh, that they're not. But
It's Childress related.
Yeah, they're affiliated with Childress, but it's not a Childress car.
Yeah.
Uh,
But actually, then again, they have one Childress car affiliate not racing, Brian Scott.
yeah, that was a surprise to see him miss it. I thought he'd make that.
Yeah, that was like really close. I don't even remember who the guy was that actually beat him out at the line.
I hate to say it, it was
I think
Ricky
it was
Stenhouse.
Stenhouse.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Ricky
Yep,
Stenhouse.
Stenhouse. Yep, you're right.
The funny thing you mentioned about Brian Scott, they were saying late in the race, right before that wreck with Danica Patrick happened, if they'd have just kept everything going, everybody in that group would have been in the 500, but that wreck happened and changed everything.
Yeah. Thank you, Denny.
Yeah. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. That was pretty much like, what was it? It was like an NR race where just the front pack like broke away and it's like, oh, you're all gonna be in, so hey, That's the one thing I didn't like about it. Like everyone else was so damaged, that they just couldn't keep up. Another thing too,
I don't
but
think
you know what?
no, I don't honestly think it was that they were too damaged. I mean, for heaven's sakes, you saw when Michael Waltrip, Austin Dillon, and David Reagan got into single file, they were able to really run down the pack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
I mean, it's not like they really lost the draft. They were just kind of hanging back. I honestly think.
I
mean,
felt
Michael
bad
Waltrip
for
was
Ron.
hanging back the whole race. So
I felt bad for Ron Hornaday in the first one, before like the first couple
Yeah.
cautions. He just lost the draft.
I expected a lot more. I thought he'd be in contention and try
That
to
was
make
like
it.
He catched up again. I
that was
just
like a
stay up
NASCAR.
there.
That was like a NASCAR 14
Excuse me.
race in career mode. If you
Oh,
start
yeah.
last, you lose the pack.
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah, I mean, he just didn't really have the car to be able to get up there. He lost the draft every single time they had a restart.
Maybe the engine's not powerful enough. Maybe.
Wait, didn't they get the motors from like Hendrick Motorsports or Richard Childress?
I think it's RCR.
Yeah,
Hey,
it was from
Hendrick.
Richard Childress.
I can't be a Hendrick.
May have
If you
blown
a
the
Hendrick car,
cylinder.
you would kept with the pack already.
It was a Childress car. If it was like a Childress motor engine package,
Yeah.
then why the hell didn't he keep in contention at the front?
Mm.
Good question.
Blown the cylinder? I don't know.
How about that recovery from David Reagan from getting damage to his car in the second dual race to come back
I
and make
honestly
the
thought
race?
he was gonna save it and not hit the wall at all.
I actually thought that too. I'm like,
I
I
thought
was
that too,
surprised
but I
he
can't wait.
Not gonna hit anything.
barely got the right rear.
I think he was still on the brakes whenever he spun it back the other way, because he was still sliding. I think if he would have let off the brakes, he might would have missed it.
it's like
I
the
don't
2007
know.
Busch race.
He
I
was
mean, it's
lucky.
like
He
that
was lucky though that
2007
really didn't hit. Didn't really ruin his splitter or anything. They said the splitter was still actually quite good.
Oh yeah.
Another driver that actually starting 14th. I mean, Trevor Bayne was kind of an unknown, if you will, in 2011. Came up and won the 500. Ryan Blaney, he was actually up there racing with the leaders in Gatorade Duel number 2. He could be a little bit of an underdog, under the radar guy.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference though between Trevor Bayne's run and what Ryan Blaney's doing now. It's affiliation differences. Where Trevor Bayne's running with Wood Brothers, it was Roush, and Roush is downhill as of late. But when Ryan Blaney joined, he got the powerhouse of Penske with him.
And maybe another slight difference too is back when Trevor Bayne won, it was actually the era of the two-car tandem. So there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for drivers to be able to, get around him or whatever. It was basically down to 4 drivers, two-car tandems. I mean, Ryan Blaney now, it's going to definitely be pack racing when they race it to the checkers.
Yeah, exactly. And major difference, dual 1, dual 2. Trevor Bayne spun out by himself. Duel 2, Ryan Blaney taking with the pack all race.
Good point.
So, I might be both this. I will not be surprised if Ryan Blaney finishes inside the top 10. If not, the top 5 at the 500.
That wouldn't surprise me either. Blaney's a solid driver. We've seen what he's done in the trucks and Xfinity series and just limited starts. So.
Yeah. I think he's running full
Speaking
time
of
for. I'm
Xfinity.
not too sure he's running full time or not for the Xfinity series this season. Is he?
No, he's not running full time in any series.
What?
Yeah,
Who?
Wow.
Who? Wait, who?
Ryan
Blaney.
Blaney.
Ryan Blaney.
Oh.
I thought he is.
No, wait, he is. He's running part-time in the Xfinity series.
Why?
I think.
I thought he was running full time. To be honest with you.
No, he's running partial schedules in all
Oh,
3
he's running
series.
part-time in the
Well,
Xfinity.
for bad.
Oh, he's not running at all in the trucks. He's running
He'll run a
time-
he'll run a few truck races, not many though.
It's just Stereo and I forgot who was running the 29 car. I forgot. The other
Speaking
29.
of Chuck series, that race is tonight.
Oh,
In
yeah.
cold weather.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
always-
that's right.
That's going to be a good race, I think.
Oh yeah.
At some points in 2014, and remember, Carl Edwards is in with a new team this year. At some points of like 2014, people forget that Carl Edwards even existed.
Wow.
Well, he won 2 races last year.
He
When
did.
at
Yeah,
Bristol
but
and
after-
Sonoma.
After Sonoma, people forgot that Carl Edwards even existed.
Yeah, I honestly think this is going to be, and I know he's had really good seasons, but I think this is going to be, quotes, a breakout year for Edwards, because he's just really not been able to get himself to the forefront of people's attention the last couple of years. Because, in all honesty, Roush Fenway just kind of has been falling apart. So I think this year with the Toyota development system and everything, I think he's really going to do well.
Indeed.
I'm actually looking at him as one of my top 5 to win the 500 because, I mean, I don't think you've really ever seen Edwards this whole week fall to the back of the pack.
Ever since 2011, Roush has been on decline.
Yeah.
On the Cup side, the nationwide, I say nationwide, Xfinity side, I will lose a flat-out bet every single time I say that. Roush is up there with Penske and Gibbs in terms of Xfinity Series.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a pretty solid lineup. They got Elliott Sadler with them now, but they got Darrell Wallace
They got Bubba
Jr.
Wallace.
And Chris Buescher was pretty impressive what he did last year.
Remember, he won at Mid-Ohio, too, so...
Yep.
And we have Ryan Reed, the development driver with diabetes.
Diabetes.
You know.
And also...
diabetes.
And also a veteran named Elliott Sadler.
Mm-hmm.
They finally have the addition of a veteran.
Yeah, I mean, they've been like basically a developmental team for quite a bit. It's nice to have a little bit of veteran savvy there on the team, I think.
Yeah.
They actually had one veteran in Trevor Bayne, but he's still young, so not really much of a veteran.
Yeah, heads up, not just that. Grant Biffle's going to run a few races for Roush as well this season coming up.
In Xfinity?
In Xfinity. Roush,
oh.
I mean, Biffle and Ricky Stenhouse.
Don't forget, Ricky Stenhouse actually ran one race, I think, last year.
Yeah, Texas.
It was Texas.
Now, last year we had some pretty good rivalries. We ended up having
Jeff Gordon versus Brad Keselowski.
Versus Keselowski. Hamlin versus Keselowski.
Well, I got better terms. Brad Keselowski versus everybody.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski versus everyone. But this year, the rivalries are starting off a little early. We had Harvick versus Logano, and now we got Patrick versus Hamlin.
I won't count Danica and Denny rivalry just yet.
If Hamlin turns Patrick in the 500, it'll be a rivalry.
That'll be a different story.
Yeah.
They said that you're out.
I'd pay to see that. Oh man.
They said that they're friends, so maybe.
Yeah, and the funny part about it, their bus is next to each other.
Yeah, I know. I heard that last night.
Yeah, they're exactly next to each other.
Ricky, get your girlfriend, please.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, Ricky, are you watching this?
Yeah, where was Ricky Stenhouse?
He's just sitting in his hall. He's just hiding. He's just in hiding at the moment.
See, that if I was Danica Patrick's boyfriend, I would come up there and calm it down. Hey,
if I was Dennis Hamlin, I would slap the shit out of Hamlin for that shit.
Alright, so we're getting close to the end of this episode here, so it's time for everyone to make their pick for the 500. Who are you guys looking at?
The Joe Gibbs squad.
You need to pick one person.
One person?
Yep.
If not for Jeff Gordon?
Carl Edwards or not, Matt Kenseth will just push Carl Edwards and then put him out of the way so he can win.
For
Tony Stewart.
You think the winless streak's gonna end, huh?
Yes, in the 500 and the current streak he's on.
For me, I might be both. If not Jeff Gordon, and everybody wants Jeff Gordon to win his final 500. But my backup, I would say history might repeat itself for the 21. Ryan Blaney might win the 500.
Wow.
I'm not really sure right now. I'm not going to the final things right now.
I also think Dale Jr. can become the first driver in 20 years to win back-to-back 500s.
I'm actually going to have to go with Jr. I don't like going with the favorites very often, but with what I've seen out of Jr., especially in the duel last night, I mean, that car can go absolutely anywhere and get to where he needs to go very quickly. So I think Jr. has got one solid piece under him, and I think he's going to be the one to beat.
Which is why he's my pick.
You know what's hilarious? With the win that Jeff Gordon got, with the pole that Jeff Gordon got, and for the 500, he will be walked into the next Sprint Unlimited next year.
What's that matter?
I
He's
think
retired.
wait.
he's already
He ain't
announced
racing it.
that he
Yeah, he
will
already
not
said
race
he's
the
not doing
Unlimited
it.
though.
So what that
No.
means, Chase Elliott.
No.
No,
Will
I don't
be
think
walked
so.
in.
No, I
No.
don't think it would roll over to
No,
Elliott.
not
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Nope.
Nice try
Owner
though.
points though. Owner points though.
But still.
Well, yeah,
Still.
but not for the Unlimited though. That
Unlimited,
wouldn't
though.
qualify him into the Unlimited.
That's true.
Unless they change the format, which
That
they've
would-
been known to do the last
if-
couple of years.
If they keep the same format that they've had for this year's Unlimited, that means that the next driver in owner points would then move in because
That's
Gordon would be basically forfeiting that spot.
That's true.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that while my number one pick is Dale Earnhardt Jr., I still wouldn't mind seeing Jeff Gordon win either.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, the only thing though that I honestly think, I think if Gordon didn't start on the pole, he'd have a better shot. I think maybe starting on the pole is not going to help him win the 500, quite honestly.
Jeff Gordon won the pole for the Daytona 500 back in 1999, and that worked out pretty well for him.
He did.
I'm gonna be just wild right here, but I'm just think McMurray. I'm flat out picking McMurray will win.
That's never a bad pick at a player.
No,
race.
it isn't.
No,
Not at all.
it's not.
No,
He
it's not.
did win a
That's for
500.
you, Trent.
Trent be happy right about that when you see this.
Yeah.
It's
It's just a guess. I don't know. I mean,
What?
starting in the front row, that's not a good idea. I think middle pack will be around middle pack.
And McMurray's kind of been a little bit of an under the radar driver past couple of races. The Unlimited wasn't really much of a factor and wasn't much of a factor in the dual races, so maybe holding something back.
That's how he was in 2010. So
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
my when I first started watching it. And unfortunately, I couldn't watch the whole 500 because I had to go somewhere at the time. But good thing we have radio. But that's all I'm gonna say.
that was with the whole pothole incident in the middle of the.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, I got
God.
one question for everybody.
And after that, it was like, screw it, we're gonna repave that next year.
That's true. I got
Speaking
one
of
question for everybody. Where would Danica Patrick finish? And who's your dark
43rd.
horse win who's your dark horse gonna win the 500?
oh, I want to say this 21.
41?
I don't know. I think you may see Patrick maybe finish in the top 15.
Impossible.
I'd say 25th.
I would say
It's
I
not
would say,
impossible.
like,
It's maybe improbable. Wait, what is-
40, like somewhere in the 30s or 40s.
Yeah, she's not that stupid.
She's not that dumb. She gets smarter by a minute. As long as she's away from Denny Hamlin, top 15 for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
If Denny Hamlin's not around, top 15 for sure. If Denny Hamlin's around her, I won't hate to say it, but she might finish dead last.
Yeah.
And I think
So,
too,
Brendan
going to the,
Burke, if you're watching this, we're sorry for slamming Danica, alright?
Oh yeah, I love Danica. Danica's one of my favorite drivers. Actually, that's my wife's favorite driver until John Long came along.
and going to your second part of your question of how many cars are going to finish, I don't know how many cars are going to finish, but I can assure you we're going to have maybe at least 2 big wrecks because a number of the drivers that ended up being involved in some of those wrecks last night, they're in this field, so...
I say you say 2. I might say 3 big ones.
No.
No.
I'd
The
say
third one
at
would be
least one.
within 10
Highway-
to
At
go.
least
Highway
15
unlikely.
cars and one with just like 7 cars or something.
How many were there in July? How many wrecks were there? Like,
That
the
took out
front
that
straightaway.
July race took out almost half the field.
July was the NR 2003 race of NASCAR.
yeah.
Why do you say
There are
that?
only like 19 cars left on the field.
I know, if damaged or whatever, if you stay on the track, you still had a top 20 finish coming to you.
Oh yeah. So if I were Danica Patrick, be like the smart veteran was like Michael Waltrip or the great Dale Jarrett. Stay in the back.
All right, so here's the last
What-
question before we end off this episode. The Sprint Unlimited. You had Martin Truex Jr. try and make a charge. Kenseth was able to hold him off. The two dual races, it basically came down to Kenseth and Jr. Jr. was able to hold off Kenseth in Duel 1. Johnson was able to hold off everybody in Duel 2. Are we going to see a more exciting finish for the 500, or do you think we're going to see one driver be able to block both lanes and it basically not be that too exciting of a finish for this year's 500?
I think it all
I
depends
say it
on who's
actually
leading.
will. Yeah.
Depends on how strong. We saw Matt
If it's-
Kenseth. He had a really strong car in the Unlimited. Nobody could get by him.
Well,
How
for the
did- It all-
500, might be slightly more exciting because remember how they race at the Unlimited and the duels, it was very cool temperatures. So when the 500 shows up, probably in the warmer temperatures instead of daytime too, add more slickness to the track, might be a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, following up on what he said, well, considering the fact that, well, it's all been during the nighttime, they're gonna have less grip than they had during the nighttime, so that will be leading up to more exciting racing action. And when they get down to a final point, they're actually just gonna start duking it out 2x2x2. Like they're gonna see who's gonna try and make it to the line.
Yeah,
And in the
go ahead.
in the Daytona 500, you're going to see guys pushing it more because that's the race that really matters. Unlike the duels, they're just trying to keep their cars in one piece for the duel races for the most part.
I mean, if we can see a pattern, like early on in the 500, of the inside line getting the advantage, the outside line getting the advantage, I think that's going to then be the indication that we may have a good finish. But if we don't see, like, an outside line be able to form up and get up there, or an inside line be able to challenge the outside line, that just kind of almost gives me an indication that maybe we may not be in for as great a Daytona 500 finish as we had last year.
And let's not forget, there are some drivers who can actually cause havoc. They can actually come in and wreck shit. Like, let's see who's in the front row. Is like Kyle Busch. He could just come into the Hendrick party and just wreck it. It's like right off the bat.
Yeah, because we know Kyle Busch is willing to put his car somewhere that maybe it shouldn't go.
We're not going to see anything like that early on, though. Drivers are going
No.
to be smart, at least at that point. 10 laps to go, that could be a different story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm expecting we're going to definitely have at least one, if not two, green-white checkers.
Hopefully, we see a
No.
lot of them.
That's-
That's not going to happen.
That's
No.
usually
So I got a question though. How mad would it be if Dale Jr. ended up winning a back-to-back 500s?
I
Oh,
will.
man.
I will
I
be
honestly
very
would-
mad.
I honestly wouldn't mind. I mean, he's
I
had a
wouldn't
strong
mind.
car all week, so...
Why would you be mad?
Because I kind of get annoyed at the fact that all the entire junior bandwagon just like start erupting, like, oh, junior one, ah!
Okay, so then you're mad at junior fans and not actually junior.
Now, the only time
Yeah.
I'd be mad if Junior finished first and Jeff finished second.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
That I would
that's-
have been pissed.
if he
No,
passed
I
him
can-
for the win.
I can already see it though. People would be like, "Oh, Junior should have let Gordon win." Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I actually want to see that. I definitely will see that. But I'm Junior. Hey, I'm Jeff Gordon fan by heart. Since '92, when driving the baby
Maybe right.
Ruth's car back in Nationwide times. Not Nationwide times. I don't care. Nationwide Bush car. I don't care. I call it Bush.
It was Busch Grand National at the time.
Exactly, thank
That
you.
was actually a Ford that he was driving.
He was forward with Bill Davis.
Yep.
Number one car. Nobody doesn't know that. Wonder why. But yeah, back from '92.
Yep.
He was originally going to drive the 46, Illuminati confirmed, Half-Life 3 confirmed.
And actually, no, remember this.
No.
He was trying to race for a 500 doing Bill Davis car. He didn't make the show. Did anybody know that?
That I didn't
Yes. I
So, yeah,
actually found out
What did I
a
miss?
couple days later.
Yeah, because I actually remember before you mentioned about it during the interview. Jeff Gordon tried to make a race for the 500 driving the Bill Davis car. He missed the show. It was 92, 93. 93.
Yeah, it would have been 93.
It was
Yeah.
93.
His rookie year was
93
93, so
for
it had to
Philadelphia's
be
car. Yeah.
it had to be like 91 or 92 because
Yeah,
Oh,
it can't be.
Hendrick
'Cause-
and
It can't be because Gordon was inside. It was in the Daytona 500 in 1993.
Well, okay, 92 then. I was right then. Yeah, but David's car. They make the show because that car is way too slow. Hence the term, much I say way too slow, having to run holiday in 30 car. But yeah. Back then. Now, he's retiring by the end of the season. I actually ain't going to be at Daytona for the July race. So, gave me first restricted plate race I've been going to. And
Hopefully
first
I'll
I've
be
been
able
to
to go
Florida.
too.
So,
Yeah, and I
By the
would
way,
like to say in advance, I may be in New Hampshire this week, the July weekend. So
I
just want to
think-
say that.
I was at
Okay,
the Kentucky race last year. I hope I can go again this year.
yeah.
All right, guys. I have a question for all of you.
Go ahead.
Which race weekend are you gonna look forward to the most?
just one.
Talladega.
Yeah,
I-
Daytona, Talladega. Those are the two I usually.
Memorial Day weekend. I mean,
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire Charlotte time.
So here's
I
another
can't-
question. Anyone planning a live stream?
For the 500?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be actually watching it live at my aunt and uncle's house for the first time since 2011, so.
Yeah, I'd be at my former high school teacher's house. She's a junior fan. She invited me and my wife over every year. So I'll go in there Sunday. I don't know how to do that with a snow.
I'm actually staying home and watching the 500 at home after going to a restaurant to eat.
watching it with my other friends on TeamSpeak. You guys don't know what that is. Seth basically knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt and uncle's having a Daytona 500 party, so we're going over there to watch it.
So that was the longer.
There
probably
is someone
saying
at
there
my
probably won't be a
door.
live stream.
Yep. And I'll be watching it with my girlfriend. So.
And maybe Charles Jackson may, but I'm not sure if I'll be involved.
I don't know.
I don't
We got
know.
some mayonnaise around. I don't know about
There's
that.
someone at my door. Hold up.
Okay, so now here I have a question too. How fitting
Hold
would
up. I
it
gotta leave, guys. See you later.
All right, see you,
how-
Angel.
how fitting would it be if Chase Elliott and Jeff Gordon raced in the same race at Homestead?
Ooh.
I can
Yeah.
see that happening.
Actually, Hendrick, do it, please. Make
I
it
mean,
like
I see
remember
that
back
as-
in '92, Petty, Gordon, Atlanta, '92. History repeat itself, maybe. Please do it.
The
That's
only
what I was talking about.
The only difference there is back in '92, nobody expected Jeff Gordon to do what he's done. That was an afterthought. Gordon making his debut at that race at the time, but
I mean, that was
when you think about it, I'm trying to
before
remember who it
tryover
was.
Atlanta.
Was it Mears who was driving at Homestead when Montoya was driving the 30? Mears that was driving the 42?
Mears was in the 42 in 06.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean, it'd be almost shades of that too.
And before it changed to 25 the year later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's called YouTube. That's why I know a lot of stuff.
You
Now,
know, it'd be
I
really
would say
weird is
this-
if Chase Elliott actually finishes better than Gordon in the season finale. It'd be like, whoa.
You'd be like, "Oh, I'm so old. Good thing I'm leaving."
if Gordon's in the final four, I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would say this.
I don't know
Jeff-
what year, but see
No,
Gordon
hey,
in the
From
class
what-
of
from what-
something Hall of
From
Fame.
what
First ballot.
whoever said a 25 year later, if Jeff Gordon would hold on for 2 more years, he would be racing for 24 years, and then it would that statement would make more sense about the whole year later.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I would say this: Jeff Gordon made some options open and heavy running at a competitive car, no matter what series, except in the Formula One and IndyCar, unfortunately. But
I want to know what car number Gordon will be driving if he does if he runs his those couple races.
24,
He said-
not 24. Good
He
question.
said yesterday that the chances of him running in any Cup race next year highly unlikely. but-
he did say that.
But one thing I am excited about is that he might take Tony Stewart up on his offer to run the truck race at Eldora. I hope that happens because I will be there if that happens.
Wow, Gordon and trucks, that'd be amazing.
Oh, it'd be a first race series restart for
Wait a
him.
minute,
that would
Austin, what are you watching?
This is practice.
Yeah, practice is on Fox Sports 1.
Oh, sweet. I forgot about that.
It just mentioned some of the backup cars and other stuff. Sorry. I'm gonna turn off my camera. So is that it?
I think that's it. So I want to thank you guys for joining me here for this 500 edition.
No problem.
Yeah. Sorry if I came in so late. I didn't know you were starting your Presley at 10.
Oh, that's fine.
Well,
That's fine.
Jeff.
All right, so thanks to these guys for joining me. If you guys in future episodes want to join, I do post the update of when I'm planning on doing these, recording them on Facebook, so you can check that out and be able to join us for future shows. Also, be sure to subscribe to these guys. I'm putting the links to all of their channels in the description, so you can go over and check out their channels. And I'll let you guys say whatever you want to say to end off the episode.
Yo, Junior for the win.
Make sure you subscribe to this guy.
Jeff going all the way.
Thank God racing is back.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. See you guys next time on NASCAR Talk.